Hi, everything. Everybody who is here is waiting for big people like Marcio Magliano. Is a trainer, world champion 3 times, champion of World Games 1 time, and 5 times Brazilian champion. It's a champion, whatever you think. I am very happy now because. I have the opportunity to learn from Marcio. I'm going to stop talking about Marcio. I prefer he present himself and start with his presentation. Just stop. This simply a little thing. Remember, this is part of the Beach Handball World Congress. We are going to continue learning and enjoying with Marcio. Thanks, Marcio, in advance.
Yeah, hi everyone. Hi, thank you, Manuel, for the invitation, and thanks, Fernando, for remember of me. I'm very honored to be part of it. I believe that Beach Handball needs that kind of initiative, so I'm very happy to give a little bit of contribution to that. So, I'm Marcio, and I'm the coach of the Brazilian national team, and I'm also coach a club in Rio de Janeiro called Playa. And I'm a very enthusiastic of beach handball since I was very young, and I've been coaching for more than 10 years now. So that's what I live for. I love beach handball.
Me too.
Well, let me share my screen with you guys. Is that okay?
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm very proud to be part of the first Beach Handball World Congress. And I was invited to talk to you guys about the attack in beach handball. I confess that I have a very simplistic view of the attack in beach handball by many of its particularities. It's very easy game to play. So I'll try to prove my point to you guys while we are here. All right. The basics. The first thing we need to know is that it's the only game I know that is always asymmetrical. It's always in a numerical superiority, 4 against 3. Actually, it's 4 against 4, but when you put it to attack against defense, it's 4 against 3, and it makes the game unique, makes unusual, and you gotta think like that if you want to get good results while playing. And it's a constant search for the best possible situation to make a shot. That's the basics, the thing you need to understand when you are on the court and you start to working with beach handball. As I said, which player has the highest probability to make a shot? You always, when you're attacking, you're always trying to find it. Maybe in the center of the court, it's better position, not always easy to play, but that's what we're trying to find every time we are attacking beach handball. To start to understand the game, you need first to understand the positions and which players should be on that positions. That's one of the secrets of building a good game. So it's no secret here. You got the pivot, you got the left wing, the right wing, and the specialist that most of the time I use it as a center. Not every time. You can use it here or here. It's no big deal. It's not a problem. But that's the mainly configuration we use in beach handball, just for offensive positions. Each of them has its own qualities and particularities. I believe we have 3 kinds of specialists. This is Bruno, photo of Bruno, one of the best players in the world, in my opinion, maybe the best. And we have three kind of specialists. The cerebral, I mean, the guys that play for the team, the thinker you can call, the shooter, the guys that usually is stronger and shoot all the time, and the dream of every coach, that will be the mix of them too. If you got one cerebral that can shoot really, really good, will be perfect. And the main qualities of the specialist, what he needs to do is to construct the offensive game. He needs to have a great vision of the game. I don't know if you use that word in English, but in Portuguese we use vision of the game, understanding of the game. You got to know every piece of every part of the court. And he must be very, very good in fundamentals. In pass and shooting, must use it very, very nice and play for the team. I've made some short videos just to illustrate what we're talking about, okay? This is Camila from Brazil, one of the best female specialists in the world, in my opinion. And she always plays for the team. This is the game in Brazil against Hungary, 2014. She always trying to find someone free, always trying to find the space, plays a lot for the team. She's really, really good. She always tries to give a different solution for each attack. Makes easy for everyone to play with her. And that's the cerebral kind of specialist. But, well, just to illustrate, she plays for the team. She always tries to find the player that is in the best condition to shoot. And in the other hand, we got Martin from Denmark. That is a classic shooter. You cannot give him any space at all. He always tries to shoot, and he's a very, very good player. If I'm not mistaken, he was the best specialist on Brazilian World Championship in 2014. And it's totally different from Camila and from Bruno, but it's very efficient as well. Every time he has a space, he'll make the goal. Must be really, really strong. Usually they are taller than the other specialists. And they probably shoot much more than every other player in his team. Very, very strong, very good player, very efficient as well. But it's totally different kind of player if you compare to Bruno, Camila, other thinkers. If we get a type that can mix them both, that's the perfect specialist we are all looking for. Well, the pivot, it must be big, must be tall, must be strong, because as we know, beach handball doesn't have the very physical contact like indoor handball, but the pivot especially, he has to take some punches and some pulls, must be strong. And he must jump really high with no displacement. That is totally different from the players that plays in other positions. This is Renata from Brazil. and really good pivot. If you notice, she doesn't displace very much. Jumps with both feet.
That's a really good finish. That's a Santiago. She popped the lead, 6 points to 4.
With no displacement, just gotta jump and be very, very effective.
She scored so many points so far. So she's already hit the ground. Santiago! A quick fire hat-trick.
This is from the World Games final, Brazil against Argentina.
She receives now, and of course she scores. Great balance and accuracy.
It's very different from the other players because she has always to jump with usually both feet and usually getting some pulls and some touch. And the wings, they usually attack and defend. Is not always. In Brazil, we are playing more, changing everybody, changing 4 and 4 with 4. But in a lot of teams, they attack and defend. I put here height, but they don't necessarily need to be tall. It's just a benefit, you know. There are a lot of not tall wings that play really, really well. They need to be strong because they shoot larger, they shoot from far away compared to the pivot, and they must be really good in technical skills because they're always with blocks and they're always with the keeper very intensely on the ball, and of course they must be really fast. This is one of the best players in the world, Juric from Croatia, and this is Maren from Norway. A very, very good wing, left wing. Just a video to show the difference between the pivot and the wings. She can run to make the shots, and she's really big. She's really, really strong. It's very hard to block her. Strong, fast, and tall. That's what the teams must be looking for. Really good player. So, totally different from the pivot. She can run and she can go further. She can go longer with the spin and the in-flight shots. Well, if we want to study the offensive game in beach handball, we can probably split it in 4 big areas: the technical elements, the individual tactics, the collective tactics, and the systems. I'm not going to go profoundly in any of this because I know that other people are going to talk in the Congress, and they will talk about some of these aspects. But just to give us idea about it, I'm gonna talk a very fast about it. Okay. The technical elements, we need to make the displacements. You gotta learn it with or without the ball, of course. The pass and the reception, the simple shot, the spin, the in-flight and dribbling. That's the technical elements you need to learn to play in the attack. No secret here, but it's always good to remember. I'm not going to explain each one. The individual tactics, that's where we start to think offensively. Everybody must have these principles in the head. Everybody must pay attention to that. I like this photo because shows me the offensive attitude. If you're not offensive while playing, you lost the superiority. Nobody will concern about you. So this is the first principle, the first concept that must be very strong in everybody who is attacking. The space occupation, you gotta use the space at your favor. Fixing the opponent, this I'm gonna show in the courts this concept. Excuse me for a second. Fixing the opponent is the concept that when you're attacking, you bring the opponent to you. So if you pass from here, this guy will not be concerned about you. When you attack and you have the offensive attitude, you fix the opponent with you. Just by doing that, you make the game a lot easier to the other three players. That's a concept that I'm always talking with my players. It's very, very, very important, fixing the opponent, okay? The pass line, it's a concept, it's simple, but not everybody is always worried about it. I mean, this player is too close to the line, and this player is here. If I don't get myself in the line, I cannot receive the ball. So the pass line is an important concept. You gotta be free. You gotta be an option to the person with the ball every time. And of course, the spin shot, I mean here by the decision of making the spin shot. It's an individual tactics. You can by yourself just see some space and go for it. To think about that's for me one of the major points in beach handball. And one time we were in Oman in the World Championship, and I remember an interview, and they asked Brazil and Croatia what they think about it. And Croatia thought at that time, I don't know now, that spin shot would be easier, and Brazil declared that we are more likely to play in-flight shots, and explain why. I have one little video just to think. I don't have an answer for that. I cannot talk. I cannot say it for your team. I can say it for my team, not for yours. So let's just think about for 1 second. Brazil and Croatia. The biggest classic in the world. A lot of World Championship finals and World Games finals. The two best men team. When you are in the highest level, you must be good in both. But I believe strategically, you gotta decide if you're gonna be playing for spins or playing for in-flight. I see a lot of women team playing too much spins and no in-flights. In men, they are more balanced about it. It's not impossible to be blocked when you are in flight, but maybe you have less chance of it. This was amazing. Nilsson took the ball from the defense and made it directly the goal. It's not my place to say to you what is better, but I have some aspects that we can think of, and maybe we'll clarify your ideas, or maybe you can know. Of course, in fly need 2 players. That is one of the arguments. And spin shot, you can just by yourself do it. So if you are very good at it, you can just do it, and this you need to pass it. So 1 point for the spin shot. The phases are different. So in the spin shot, first reception, then jump, then spin, and then shot. And in e-fly, you jump and then receive the ball and then shoot. The phases are totally different. Eye contact. I believe this is very important. It changes the efficiency of the balance for the in-flight shot, because when you're spinning, you have less time to see the goal. And when you are in flight, you are looking to the goal all the time. So the eye contact is longer when you're in flight shot. You have more time to see what's going on and more time to decide. I do believe that the spin, you have a higher chance to be blocked, because it takes some time to turn around, and that's where the defense is going to jump and look for you, and you have lower chance when you are in flight. I do believe that. And I don't know if that's correct in English. I mean, short times, I mean, you have, when you're spinning, you spend a very big part of your jump while you're turning, and you have fewer times to shot. When you are in flight, you can shot faster, you can shot slower, you can shot the middle, because you are already in the position. I believe that gives more possibilities for the in-flight shot. You have more times. That makes it difficult for the keeper and for the block and everybody. So with that in mind, if you have players that can pass, maybe the in-flight will be easier. But as well, you need to have some tall players. If you have the team that everybody's short, you probably will play more spin shots. But that's up to you to decide, okay? The collective tactics. As I said before, I do believe that it's a very simple game, and we are already with the numerical superiority. That's one thing we are always searching in indoor handball. All of us, almost all of us, came from indoor handball, so we think like indoor handball in the beginning. We need to change that. We need to think an asymmetrical game. Asymmetric game is totally different. The position of the specialist is one thing that you change in the game and moves everything. You can change completely a game just by doing that. The passes, I mean, in Portuguese we have a word called engajamento, engagement, but I don't know if it translates well. So when you're going to pass from everybody, and that's a tactic that you can use. We always have someone free, so that's not very hard to do. Crossing and exchanges. I mean, crosses, you just change, just like indoor handball, no big deal, just change the ball. And exchanges, I mean, when the ball is with another person and you just make the movement without the ball, so it's no secret. It's one of the tactics that you can use. Devolutions, continuation, I mean, spin then pass. When you go for a goal situation, you are inside the area, you just receive an in-flight, or you just made a spin, and you can continue the ball. You can play to any of the other 3 players. We call it devolution in Portuguese. I didn't find it in English, so maybe I believe you can understand. Continuation or devolution the ball. You take the ball back to the court. And set pieces, there are the pre-trained plays. I believe with that cover, we have almost all tactic situations for the attack. By devolution, I mean this. This is Cynthia from Brazil. You can see that the block is here. Maybe, I don't believe in this time exactly, but maybe the block is very well for you, and some of the three will be free. The specialist could run here. Renata is here. And it's very efficient way of play and very simple as well. Yeah, this is one of the main abilities that you need to develop. The systems, there are basic two systems, but I've seen that, so I put here. I've seen the two by two is very rare. It's not usual to do it, but you can do it. By 3-1 is no secret. Just like handball, 3 players in one line and the pivot in the other line. 3-1 is the absolutely major of the teams use it. Almost every team plays like this. But the 4-0 is used a lot, especially by female teams. I believe that one of the difference between male and female games, men and women games, is that the court is bigger for the girls, so they have more space. Maybe in girls you can mix more, you can run more, and the spaces are going to be bigger. So 4-0 is something like this. 4 players in one line. When that happens, it's usually the defense goes like this. It's another kind of game. Hungary does very well this. Spain sometimes does. And the 2-2, I've seen it very few times. It's very hard to play like this. I don't recommend you to do this, but it happens. It would be something like this. 2 players in the first line and 2 players in the second line. It's very, very hard to play like this. It's easier for the defender, but you can try if you want to. Another thing to think about, I believe the main questions in attacking beach handball are the spin against the in-fly as a strategy, and the simple game against a complex game. Let's see a very short video. You see, they are playing with 4-0 this time, and you can see the defense going up. And they made a combination, didn't have success. Now they play really simple, and they did the goal just by passing. Again. Let me show one thing. See, when you are in this position, I don't see any difference by if she was already here. I don't see why she's doing this. You see, the defense didn't move, and you spend a lot of energy. For me, the combinations the set pieces like this are not very efficient. When she goes here, the defense is in the same position that will be if she started here. You know what I mean? I'm not sure about it. There's a combination. There's a good one. I like when they do like this. I like when they do like this because they have one tricky pass in the middle. This time here, they can, each of them can carry the ball and can make different things. As I said before, in men's game, it's harder to do something like that because the men are bigger and they occupy the whole area. It's hard. But Hungary is a very good example of teams that make it really well. But we in Brazil, we don't like to play like this. We don't like to play with a lot of set pieces combined and running a lot. I believe that spends too much energy for a game that is far too simple. Well, that said, for conclusion, I want to talk about the details, the things that my teams are always trying to work on. Okay, the variables that we need to work on. The position of the specialist. This is the first one that we always trying to think about it. If he or she is usually here, just by the fact that you change for here, you make the defense do this and this and this. So if you need this player to shoot more, to have more space, you can do this. But you need this player to be as good as this with passing and stuff. Just by doing that, you can change all the defense. Very simple, but you need to have the right player here. In Brazil, we play with Juliana here a lot of time. She's very good doing that. Needs to be a very fast player, decision making, and good pass. Gotta know how to spin in the middle here. It's not very easy to play. Well, the rhythm of the game, that's one of the details I believe it's fundamental, it's necessary. If you play always from A to B to C, from C to B to A, if the same rhythm, the same speed, the same timing, the defense will be always ready for you. And they're gonna be in their highest performance when you try to attack. You need to make plays with changing of the speed, and you gotta go really fast sometimes, and sometimes you gotta go slow. Sometimes you gotta turn the ball 2 or 3 times to the same player. The rhythm of the game is very important for me, and it's one thing that I talk about every time with the specialists. Yeah, the pivot space regulation, that's a concept that I've been studying on, and I believe it's very, very important for the game. I mean, by that, I mean this. That's the original set, right? If I need my pivot to play more, to receive more balls, I need he or she should guarantee this space more for her. That's what I call regulation of space. I mean, if she goes here, when I attack here, there will be more space for her or for him. But if I don't want that, I want my left wing to play more, I can bring my pivot here. Maybe he or she will bring the defender, and will free more. That's what I call pivot regulation, space regulation. We cannot just put somebody in the pivot because he's really tall. And in my opinion, these two guys, the pivot and the specialist and the center, must be the smarter on the team. They need to play, they need to understand how the waves go and how the spaces are going. And they usually agree on that, brings more here, and agree with the specialist so they can pass better. That's a very important concept for me. The things we need to work on, if you have players and that can change everything, is the left-handed players. If you have a pivot left-handed or a right-hander that can play here, it changes a lot. Just by moving. If you have the left-hander here, the same thing. Changes a lot. You can attack here. Usually this player is usually to defend against the pivot, not against the specialist. Usually this player usually to defend against the specialist, not behind the pivot. So that's one thing that if you can work on, it's very, very good for the variation of the game, you know. And the most important of all, it's the decision making by all players. What I see in beach handball here in Brazil, and I've seen it all over the world, is that every team, almost every team, makes the decision making always about the specialist. And if the specialist has to decide every time, if he's not or she's not in a good game, or if the defense puts someone to take individually, you have problems with your game and everybody's anxiety and about it. For example, if the defense defends 2-1, I've seen the Pedro Bagos presentation and I love it. And he talked about the flotation and about the dissuasion and the displacements. How I also believe that defense must go. If these players has pressure on, we need this player to be able to do a pass. We need this player to be able to decide if he's going to spin or if he's going to take an in-flight from wing to wing. Everybody must be encouraged to decide and to get responsibility for the attack. So that's my view about the attack. I believe it's a very, very simple game, and we need to think like this. We need to think as simple as it is. If we bring indoor handball to the beach, the concepts of indoor handball, we're usually making more effort and more combinations and more stuff that we don't need, because beach handball is a very, very simple game. Just work on the fundamentals and decision making and the very few technical stuff that you need to improve, and your team will play really well. Thank you very, very much.
Wow, fantastic, Marcio. It's really, really fantastic. I'm very impressive with your presentation because it's so clear. It's absolutely useful for beginners and for very, very, very expert players, because I believe you have a lot of things to explain, but you classify all of the things with very clear key points. Well, you can understand and you can decide based on your abilities and your skills, or your team skills, or your possibilities, because all the team doesn't have the same players, the same possibilities. The strengths are so different from one to other. Well, it's perfect. And the
I tried to make as simple as I could, and it's really the vision that I have. I do see the game that simple. It's about details. It's about one step for the side or one step for the other. It's about getting very good at the fundamentals. That's what I believe, and that's what I work on my teams.
Yeah, but I have a question. When you choose the composition of your team, for example, how many specialists do you have? How many people to play in this point of the game?
Usually, I don't like to go for a competition with just one specialist, because, as I said, it's the person who gives rhythm for the game, you know. And if this person is not in a good day, can compromise all the game. So I usually have one player very very good at it, but if I can take two, it's perfect. If I cannot take two, I must have one of the other players that can be there for one or two or three attacks, and we work on that very very hardly. And also, I try to transfer the responsibility for the other players by not letting the specialist decide every attack. That's the key understanding for me of the attack. We cannot have all the attack managed by one person. Everybody should decide every time. That's what I believe.
Yeah, good decision. I love. I don't love a lot spin game because I prefer in flight. I prefer like a spectre. But
I know what you mean. Me too.
Because I think it's better. It's more spectacular. It's more different from another kind of game. But it's more complex too because. But I am very, very surprised about the. You are talking about the simple game. Don't be complex because you are too much passes is too much probability to lose the ball, make any fail, any error, maybe, and it's very important for the people who is beginning. Starting to just at the beginning of the game, if you try to do a lot of things that you are not necessary. It's not necessary for a goal, a 2-point goal even. Just congratulations. Thanks a lot for your knowledge, for sharing with us, for your kind presentation because it's very kind, very clear, very conceptual. I am very happy, very proud of to be part of a project with you, Pedro, and another one because it's a good work for of all of yours for the people who is beginning this sport.
Thank you very, very much. As I said before, I'm very honored to be a part of it, and hopefully this will help somebody and will spread the word about beach handball. I'm very enthusiastic about it, and I want to congratulate you for the initiative. I'm a fan of this kind of initiative. I myself try to do it in Portuguese in Brazil to spread the word about beach handball and make people understand how easy this game is and how unique it is, how it can be a powerful tool for physical education classes and everything. And in my experience, every time somebody gets in touch with it, he likes, and the kids likes, and the teacher likes. So I do believe that is a sport that's going to grow, and when it becomes Olympic, it's going to grow more. It's very good, and I'm passionate about it. Thank you so much for letting me be part of it.
You are welcome. You are welcome, and this is your home too. And the future, I hope we can work together anytime and share any project in the future.
Yeah, it's a great pleasure.
Thanks a lot, Matthew.
Thank you so much.
Bye.